Can I know how many of you have uh, loaded the persona uh, successfully and set up the IP configuration? You can if you are successful, you can uh, put something to the chat box that you are okay. Otherwise, I don't know in what situation you are. Please let us know whether you have completed his study work. Each one of you can have yeah complete.
Lalanta, good morning.
Good morning, Mr.
Lalanta, what you can do is if you can create a poll like poll and send to the all so that they can answer whether they have completed the last day work. Then you can get a count. I will ask Deepthi to create a poll.
Oh,
Deepthi, good morning.
Hello. Sorry. So, got into the pool 28 out of the crowd has completed, so has been successful yesterday. And anyway, I think we have to continue with our session today. So we'll see what will be in the persona web interface or dashboard. So it looks like this. If you browse the toolkit site, it will be like this. So in the top of the page, there will be organization information. Like if we consider our Learn Persona website, share कर लेना है. So the persona site will be like this. The learn site is this, and in the top of the site it contains information about the IP address and IPv6 address, and about site information, what kind of organization, and its name, address, and administrative things. And also it shows the services running. We know that Sierra, the persona is a collection of components, a collection of applications or tools. So they will be running as a service, separate services. So those services are shown here. There's an LS registration, or the OAM, scheduler, and PS config, TWAMP, like these things. So SMAND is the archive database. LS registration is for used for global registration of this node, and OAMP is used for one-way latency test. So schedule is for scheduling the task, and PS config is used for configuring the configuring the template based configurations for executing the task, persona task, and TWAMP used for two-way latency test. So these OAMP schedule and TWAMP will be available for other nodes, other public nodes, to test, conduct tests with us. So down there, you can see test results. Actually, this our site has conducted and scheduled some tests, throughput test and latency test, kind of thing. So those results are shown there, down there. As you can see, the source and destination, and source is the node itself, and destination will be some other publicly available node. And you can see the throughput. If it's a throughput test, it will be true. It will show the throughput results. Otherwise, it will not show, not applicable. So, and also it show the latency parameters, if it can calculate the latency with that test, and also the packet loss status. On the right side, it shows the host information, that is about interfaces used in the this host, and in NTP sync status, and so the clocks of this node and the other global available persona node clocks are synchronized. So that is a necessity for conducting any test. So because it is needed for accuracy of the test results, and globally registered. So if this is globally registered, this will be available for others to test, and also this will be shown in the global lookup directory. We'll soon go to global lookup directory. So also shows other information, NREN and public access policies, public and overall NREN, and about the hardware profile and things. Also, there are some tools available. We'll go through these later. So, on-demand testing tool for reverse ping, that is testing our connectivity from remotely. So, from remote thing. So there's also a link to global node directory. Here in the top of uh, the page, there's a login button and configuration. So to do the configuration, we have to log in. Otherwise, we can't do the configurations. So once you log in, you can view the dashboard in public mode and private mode. So let's go to global node directory. Actually, if you are registered, your node will be shown there, should be shown there. So available nodes are shown here. So yes. So if we search here for some we are here in the search box we can search for any name to choose any available node. So when I search it it will filter the nodes, and so from this graph we can choose the learn node here. Also, I have installed some other installation for testing purpose. Like this one. Let's see whether that will be available. 4.45. The IP is 192.248.4.45. Four dot 85. Is not yet available. There's another node, 57, 4.57. So it is shown there. So this browser shows the what are the services available. So this particular node 4.57 is available with the scheduling service scheduler and OWAM server, that is a one-way latency test server, and management archive server, and the other one is two-way latency test. So as you can see, around actually somewhat little more than 2,000 nodes are available worldwide. We can choose either graphically or by selecting this any of these items. So when I select some node, either and it will pop up a window with available services showing. So basically, when you install Persona, it will be these four services will be available by default. So when you click on one of the items, top of the page, on top of the page, it will show about host information and service information. So you can get the host domain name and IP address and what are the hardware available, hardware that node has, and most importantly, the toolkit version. So we have to know whether these are compatible things and operating system information. Also, it shows if we run a command from a command line, how to execute a command. So example is shown there. So also other information like geolocation and things. So we can choose any of these nodes and do conductor test. So before that, actually, we have to make sure that particular services are available at the particular node. So to conduct a throughput test, we have to have a the scheduler server running and available. So to conduct one-way latency test, this service OM service, and to conduct two-way latency test, this TWMP service, and this with this scheduler server, you should be able to run other most of the tools also. So like ping, uh, the tools. So if we want to conduct a test, yes, we select some interesting interested server. Say in we'll select a server from Japan. Yes, and when we click, we can get the information of we can. So I think it's a better idea to enter the host name other than the IP address, because by host name we can identify the device when we look for the test results. So we can easily identify the. Otherwise, we have to search again using this lookup directory. What is the server and where? What is the location of that? So I'll copy the domain name other than the IP address. So to conduct a test, I have to go to. I have to first log in. I, I am. I have. I have. I am already logged in, and so okay, there are two servers I can try. So yeah, let me go with this newly loaded server that actually has you did. So so actually I can't access to this server because I changed my network adapter to Ethernet to Wi-Fi wireless one because of some issue with my Ethernet adapter. So that's why I can't access. I can I can show it from this one. So right, our learn server. Let me configure test. Right. Then there you can add test. Or there are two options: add host or test. But when we add the test in that configuration, we can also add the host. So I'll choose this one. So I will choose any test. So I will go for round trip latency RTT, that is uh, pin test. I will give a test name, say pin Japan. Yes. And I can choose interface here. What interface will be used for this test? So actually, if normally we use this, if we can use this if there are two interfaces configured in the server. So this is the only available interface for now. In that case, I will choose this one. So, and then it is asking for time, the test parameters, like time between test 5 minutes. And so this, since this is a pin, I can do this uh, for every 5 minutes, and for uh, each test there will be uh, 10 packet per test. So also there are the advanced parameters. So in this there are additional settings and they are by default set. So time between packets, and so it is by default one. So each for a test uh, each packet will be sent bit, between 1 second duration, and also we can change these things also, these, and then packet also we can change the packet size. uh, since this is IP layer, I think you can go up to 64 kilobytes. I'm not sure actually. Yeah, maybe we have to check it, the packet size maximum. So we can change the packet size here. And okay, then test members. Test members means the test destination. So I copied this domain in the lookup directory. So I'll copy that there, and I'll put a description to identify the host. And so I will do just save it as Japan. Right? We can conduct IPv4 also v6 both test. Select, and advanced there are two key buttons. I can click here for, I think for both. To yes, test is added there, but we to apply that we have to click this save button. So the now the added test is scheduled now. So by the scheduler running inside the persona, it will be executed at a suitable time. Since it is a, latency pin test, it should be soon be running. So if you go to this dashboard, either private or public, new test result should be shown. Um, so we can browse the logs, the services logs here if anything happening there. So from by clicking this link, so we can browse the server logs. We can click on the scheduler log. We can see here this test is been running here. Yeah, I think that is added now. So you can see I ran a RTT, round trip time later test. So in that test, actually we can't measure the throughput. So that's why there's no applicability. Any is here for this test result. And normally in this persona, it is not uh, testing. As I guess it is not testing the packet loss. Actually, with ping, we can, if we send a large number of ping, we can measure the packet loss up to some extent. But in persona, so that persona, the way they are using the ping test, they can't, it cannot measure the packet loss. So it is it looks it is only test getting the latency with the this RTT test. So it is 137 137 millisecond. So when we add the test, by default there's a trace route test also being scheduled. So and there are two links you can see here. Those are graph links. So there's here link for graphs, and there's another link here for trace out graph link. So I'll go to graph links. Since this is a new test, yeah, it's still the graphs are not updated. So I think it's much better to go for the old test so that I can show you something. So, I'll go for this one. That is our persona node to NSRC node test, because it has all of throughput, latency, and loss measurement. Yes. So in this test, there are 4 measurements, 4 metrics being shown in the same graph, in the same window. First in the top, throughput, packet loss, and latency, and response time. So each has a dedicated color for. So in this case, throughput. I have this test has run with TCP. So it is a TCP throughput test. It has run around. Yeah, it has some high bandwidth consume test. 400 around 400 Mbps. So so it is a TCP throughput test, and there's no UDP test or UDP packet loss measurements with this test. Also, we can see one-way latency test here, and with the dark red or brown, we can see the latency, one-way latency test, and this one-way loss test. So with this graph, it only shows actually maybe there are several tests has been run between these two nodes. This is not a single test result or single task. That means like in the previous one, I schedule a test from our host to Japan, that particular node, that is latency test. So not like so we only there schedule a single test, right? So actually this shows some aggregate results of some multiple tests. So if there have been two or three more tests has been run between these two nodes, so it shows some aggregate results of all tests here. So we can choose whether to show these things. We can select what we can select what will be shown in the graph. So also this continuous line shows the forward traffic, that is this our person node to the remote node, and if there is a dotted line, it will be the reverse path. So if there are any red dots, so it will be errors. So those reverse paths and failures are not shown here. So let's go to another. Yes, here the dotted lines are shown for both latency and packet loss. So reverse path. So reverse path latency and packet loss measurements are also shown here. Here by selecting reverse, we can deselect or we can choose whether to show or not the particular path, reverse or forward path traffic. So we can give a time duration if we want to more zoom the graphs. So we can give a custom time here. So we can choose what to show, what measurement to show here. That's throughput. We can deselect throughput, or we can select throughput test, throughput traffic, throughput results, and like we can select or deselect other measurements also, packet loss, latency. application response time. So that's about graphs. I hope it's better if you can start with some this UI based task scheduling like I did. So please go on with your own testing. I think I have shown here about four type of test that can be run on the Persona with web UI. So there are, we can run throughput test, one-way latency, round trip latency, and trace out test. So all are very similar. With a few changes. Do you get any positive results from this test? Meanwhile, I have run the test from newly set up Persona VM. Here we can see the result. The test may cause problem if you are not NTP sync. If you are not NTP sync, you have to try again go by going to configuration and by going to host tab and then select the closest servers, and you remember to save the once it search for the closest servers, then you have to save it here to apply the configuration. Then maybe you are not globally registered sometimes because you are connecting from a LAN. Uh, have you got any positive results from the test? Are you seeing something on this test section? Okay, since time is passing so soon, I will show you about another type of testing, that is on-demand testing. Normally, on-demand mean not regularly scheduled. So this above test we conducted was uh, scheduled. So they are running um, uh, uh, regularly for maybe within a period. And see, on-demand tests are run when we meet a problem. We do testing manually to see what are the issues. So there are on-demand testing tool section in each Persona toolkit web page. Right? As you can see, there on-demand testing. There are on-demand testing tools. There are 3 types of them. Uh, reverse spin, reverse trace route, reverse trace path. I yesterday discussed about differences between trace route and trace path. Uh, trace path shows some MTU values, maximum transfer unit values with the while traversing the node. So this is very useful when we want to know the reverse path. Reverse. So reverse when we need to do test the reverse testing. That is, think we want to get the reverse path latency. So we'll execute. We can execute this one reverse spin. So we want to know the what will be the path when remote site is connected to our location. So it will be come through many. It can come through many paths. There are many possibilities. So to exactly know what the path will be, so we can execute these tools. Uh, yes, I will go to our learn site one. So we can run actually we can click on this page itself and run this one, right, to get. So this is test pin test, reverse pin test. So according to this, so this will be pinging from learn host, learn persona node to my own computer IP. So since I have a real IP assigned my computer, so it is 192.248.4.76. So it will ping from ps.ac.lk, that is the node, to this one. So actually, if you want to uh, test reverse side, so this is somewhat helpful because this is been testing this now this test has run from our node to our another IP inside our LAN. So the reverse path is only from our own server, our own outbound, our own server to our own inside LAN. So that is not much useful. So if you want to really know, if you want to know the, if you want to get the reverse path uh, from a remote location or another country, so you better choose, actually you have to go to that particular pub zone node and uh, execute that particular external tools from there. So if you if say, okay, I will go again to this lookup directory. So I want to know the reverse path from say, let's say this, okay, this is a server here. So we'll select some server here, this one. Okay, so I will go to that persona toolkit page, that particular node. So I choose the one from around somewhere from Greece. So then I will choose this tool, right? So I'll go to reverse trace route here. So there's a warning that since the trace route may be interpreted as an attack, so you whether you you are okay to proceed with, I will just click yes. So in this case, now really you are getting the path, the path you want to get. Actually, it is from Greece, that particular node to my own computer. So this is the reverse path. So and it has ended from my own computer. So maybe if you are running this VM from your own home, maybe you won't be able to get this reverse 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 trace out or reverse ping, maybe because you are connected to ISP carrier gate net or something. Uh, uh, or maybe if you are inside your campus, maybe you are connected behind the net. So normally sometimes your computer uh, uh, can't be uh, pinged from outside. If you try this link inside your campus, so from home, you will get this IP. The what you get, the IP shown will here will be actually the uh, uh, outside IP of the net. So to get that, you can also that what is my IP. Uh, so if you go to what is my IP, and you can see the real IP uh, outside of your net. So if you have only a static net or real IP assigned, you will this will work. But anyway, but it will the pinging will not work. You trace out, you can, it will be work up, because trace out will come up to the maximum point it is possible. So trace out trace out will be possible from anywhere. So only ping reverse ping will be the issue if you are connecting from your LAN or home. So you also can try out this reverse spin and reverse trace out thing. Think I have gone through gone enough through these graphs and what they show. When you hover on the graph, it will show that particular values, traffic values, so that measurement values related to that line or time. So once we finish those things, we can go for the next um, section, that is to how to archive your measurement with the SMED database, and how to display those measurements uh, with MAD dash visualizer. As previously I told you in yesterday session, there are two setups actually. For now, we are going to test. We are going to uh, run the first lab setup, that is display in measurement with MAD dash in a single measurement node. Actually, that is what we have now. We only have a single measurement node. Measurement node means persona node. So uh, in I have also added here some, when it there some yeah, setting up central measurement archive with and MAD dash for multiple measurement nodes. That is some advanced setup when you have multiple uh, persona. In maybe in you have, as I said, you may have several nodes deployed in several locations, and so that you have to archive those particular measurement results into a single server. So, and visualize those results, archive data with MAD dash. So that is somewhat uh, not actually very much hard, but somewhat advanced setup. For that you need to have three servers, three virtual machines. So I think it is better you try this as a homework, because with the time constraints, it's unlikely we can do, and also with your laptop or computer infrastructure. So mostly you won't be able to run three servers together. So in this session, we are going to do up to now, up to this point. So once you install Persona Toolkit, uh, it will come also with the SMAN database. So you don't have to configure any uh, archive configurations or database related configurations. or but since we are also going to install mad dash and other helping, that is auxiliary tools in the server itself, we have to install those things. So these are the instructions, these are the commands to install them. And there are also some firewall settings that need to be added so that we can access the mad dash web UI. So then we will be creating a uh, uh, psconfig template file. So in that template file, it is actually JSON formatted file. So in that file, we will be configuring we configuring the measurements that we need to do. So so this is the example. Actually, you can copy this by filling these particular values. Actually, PSIP you have to replace with uh, the particular persona node IP, uh, and if it is a local IP, it may be local IP or real IP, and maybe you can have put your institute here. So other values will be as it is. You can keep them as it is. You can just copy and paste them. So this is the template file. So in template file, uh, we configure. We have to configure the addresses. Addresses means nodes, persona nodes IP addresses, maybe your own persona node IPs and global persona node IPs. So I have configured four of them here. For the I have only configured one persona for your own persona IP here, and I have also added some global persona nodes here, three of them. Also, the archive location. Uh, so archive location by default will be this URL. So you have to fill whatever the IP you have, and you have to uh, configure some groups. So these are called some host groups. There are actually three groups types, like a mesh configuration, mesh type, disjoint, and list type. So you can find further details on the documentation. I will go through them also. Um, and actually, when we are executing a task, we do execute with them in a schedule, right? So we also have to create some schedules. These schedules. So in these schedules, these values PT and 10 mm, actually there's um, some ISO standard time definitions, like so I hope to go through those also. This means actually we period. So P means period, T means time, and 10 means 10 value, and M means minutes. So this will execute this. So if some particular task is scheduled with this particular schedule, and that particular task will be executed uh, by every 10 minutes. So that's the meaning of this uh, notation. So this means this is another schedule. So this means period, t means times, for which means hour. So this schedule can be used to run some throughput test, like, so this, if some task is assigned with this schedule, that particular task will be run by 4 hours. So this is where tests are defined. So I have defined test RTT to round trip time test. So it's a latency test. So uh, so for any test, there will be two nodes there for destination and source. So, and these are automatically filled. These are variables, right? The within these percentage marks comes the variables. So type of test, actually the actual test we are running. So RTT in persona means pin test, right? Or round trip time measurement. So if you want to run throughput test, I have also another added this one. So throughput test, we can also specify duration for throughput test. Normally, throughput test need to have a duration, so it will be very less time. So in this case, it will be run for 30 seconds. Actually, we prefer sometimes, yeah, 20 second or 30 second like this. So, so test type for that throughput will be throughput. So another, this is another test for trace. So trace route, test type will be trace. So like that, tests are defined. Then comes the task. Actually, in tasks, we have to specify what we defined earlier, right? So we have to specify addresses, groups, and schedules, test, everything, and archives everything inside this task. So that's this task, each task constitute uh, the above elements. So tasks are TT. So if I want to run a round trip time or pin test, I will create a task called the task like this, and in this task I had to specify the test created above and the group what we are going to use for that, and the archives where we are going to save this, save the above, save the test result, and some metadata for display name. So this will be displayed in mad dash as pin test. So likewise in throughput, task throughput, so it will be also display name, and it will be also saved in the same archive, right? That is the same host itself. And the group will be also disjoint because it's the only group we created, and it will be run in this schedule, right? And the uh, test will be the test throughput that above we created, right? Test throughput, where it is here, yeah, this one. So actually in task we refer each of the element, we refer to the above elements, right? Or we point to the elements created above. So in each task, you have to specify, it is necessary to specify archives, group, schedule, and test. Then you need to validate the JSON file. So there may be syntax errors, space or misspell words, things. Uh, so to verify them, you have to run this test. You can give any name to file, like your institute, very convenient name, maybe 4 to 5 or simple characters. Then what we have to do is we have to add this configuration to the pspic psconfig uh, configuration, so so that the persona scheduler can consume this configuration file, and it can finally read the what are the tasks to be executed. So that is done with this. That is done with this command. Here you have to specify the absolute path, not the relative path. So if it is etc persona something, so that will be the path. Then there are several services to be restarted uh, to take this configuration to effective. Once do that, you can you should be able to log into the Mad Dash web UI. Right? Once you are logged in, you can go to dashboard, and you should see these we call actually this each slot is a grid. So uh, so you should be able to see these all grids or all the we created test here. Also, you can customize the dashboard. As you see that it is my persona dashboard, so you can give a name here, custom name, and by changing these two, title and default dashboard attributes here. So that's all about that simple lab test, lab setup. You can also verify that whether the archive is there on is available uh, available with RESTful web services by going to this link, right? In my case, okay, let me check there. Mm, yes, as you can see, this is a RESTful API, RESTful web service. So through this web service, you can access the archive data. So yeah, you can see the archive data is shown here. It is also shown in JSON format. Mhm. Anyway, if you know the RESTful web services, you can using this URL, you can get the required data. So this is the same URL that is used by the man dash to display the or visualize the this data in graphs. So this gives error since I haven't installed the man dash. So we have to go through these installation commands, then allow firewalls and things. So this is the PS persona documentation page, and I said about groups that PS config templates groups. Uh, there are around there are some elements like schedules, test, archives, tasks, and groups in PS config templates. So, as I said, there are three group types. One is mesh, other one is disjoint, other one is list. So you can arrange any number of nodes and addresses in these three types, right? So if you have three nodes, right? Uh, so think you have three persona nodes or addresses. You can arrange to test uh, each one with one another. So there will be this type of combinations among the three no addresses. So first, so blue they uh, show this in colored circles because it is easy to understand. So otherwise, this will be these circles are nodes of IP addresses, and think if you arrange these three nodes in a mesh type, so there will be this number of arrangement. So the first node, blue node, will be testing with uh, red node uh, actually in the forward way. Oh, and this blue one again will be testing with green one. Also, red can test against uh, uh, blue one. Red can again test with green one, and green one can run against blue one, and again with red one. So source and destination uh, will be will have this number of uh, configurations. So if we take four nodes, it will be around uh, more than that. So 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 when the number of nodes are higher, it will have uh, many number of combinations. So other group type is disjoint. So in that case, the addresses or persona nodes will be divided into two groups. Right? So in that case, one group uh, address will only be tested with other group's address. So not if you imagine if you have two nodes in a address group, so those two will not test. So there won't be any test running between two nodes if you choose to have this disjoint group type. So it will have only, so in this case, uh, uh, blue to red, blue to green, and again red to blue, and green to blue. So in that case, there will be only four combinations. It's like this, right? So you can use mesh type when imagine if you have your own persona node, that's you host in your campus or in your network uh, for persona nodes in your site. So if you want to run test among between your own nodes, you can have this group type mesh. So you have to specify your own host, not only not any global nodes. So in that case, uh, the scheduler, the persona will run this combination of test automatically. So you don't have to manually schedule go to each server and schedule to each other remaining nodes, so that it's very easy to use these type of template files, and it is very convenient. So this disjoint, so it will be used for it can be used for if you run a test against uh, so imagine the A addresses are your own address, right? It is you have two or one, or maybe one persona nodes, or in B address group you can put any other available global persona node. In that case, you can test, you can run test between your nodes and global nodes in this way, in these configurations. So, so there are basically two ways to schedule test in Persona. One way is to schedule through the web UI, and uh, the other way you can use PSConfig templates to schedule test or schedule tasks. when you refresh this this SMN archive URL or the root of the REST API, you can see the values are updated. This time updated. So So normally these psconfig template configured test are not shown in this not shown in this. So this separate, this runs separately. So those are not shown here, but test results will be shown there. So if we go to the results page, so like this we schedule this test and this test uh, from the from uh, from using this template. So test results are shown, but uh, it is not shown in the this configure test menu. Once you do this, you can, if you have time and time later, you can try out this central measurement like a setup. Uh, Once you finish, you should get this kind of grid. We call it a grid setup. Grid to visualize your measurement data like losses and other metrics, throughput and latency metrics. For any issues, you can go to these logs, log directory. So you can browse the logs here. For scheduling issues, you can browse this log, scheduler log. Uh, also, the psconfig man dash agent log and psconfig pscheduler agent logs. So you can refer to them for any for troubleshooting for any errors. So it's good if you can host a persona on your institute. So but make sure to host it outside the firewall. So you can keep trying the other rest of the lab material if you had time. Uh, for any issues, please put a message to our WhatsApp group or send any message, any type of. So thank you for connecting with this session, and so I will be yes, I will be ending this session, and because time is over.